And your first year automatically on the card, no limit. Discover.com/yes. Limitations do apply. 95% of places in the U.S. take credit cards. Discover card, it's absolutely great. By the way, David Ortiz is calling Mike Fiers a snitch today, basically saying you made some money, you won a ring, you left, and you snitched on everybody. You should have said it while you were there. Ortiz also said everybody needs to chill out on Rob Manfred. He's done a good job. Thank you. Everybody's crushing all these commissioners. It is hard to run these leagues. Nobody likes any of their commissioners. Okay, we call it the three-word game. We do it before the NBA season. I think we can do it now, where you can look at every NBA team, 3 words sort of sum up who they are. Here we go. Bucks, 1 score shy. Listen, last year, Chris Middleton only had 1 game with 15 or more points in the 6-game Eastern Conference Final. Nobody on the roster has won a title. This is a team that beats up on the dregs of the NBA. But against the top 5 teams in the East, Milwaukee's record is 500. They're a very good team, but there is a Mike Tyson quality. They destroy average. But when Tyson had to face Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, a prime Buster Douglas, he looked mortal. Milwaukee needs 1 more score. They do. They're a 500 team against the best in the East. Chris Middleton is not Paul George. He's not Anthony Davis. I don't think he's Jason Tatum. They're not. They need another score. The Raptors will miss Kawhi. They went through him in all the big moments in the series, not Pascal Siakam. Listen, this franchise has always been about effort, dignity, hard work, get the most you can out of the players, mostly well coached, always well run, great in the regular season. Then they disappoint us. Kawhi shows up, changes the narrative. He's now gone. This team is not a championship team. They'll miss Kawhi. Celtics can win title. 3 guys averaging 20 a game. Only team in the NBA that can say that. By the way, they match up well with Milwaukee. Split regular season with them. They're also 3rd in scoring defense. They've got depth. 3rd in points per game differential. This team gets overshadowed by the star-driven Lakers, the Clippers story, and Milwaukee's massive regular season. Name another NBA team with 4 starters, 3 average 20, but 4 that can give you 24 on any given night. It doesn't exist. The Lakers don't know who gives them 18 after LeBron and Anthony Davis. I think they can win the title. Miami, the Heat, Bam and Butler. Only player averaging more than 18 is Jimmy Butler. They have 2 undrafted starters. They're a great story. They play defense. They work really hard. That's what Jimmy Butler does. But let's be honest about this. Go look at the history of the NBA. Who's your second scorer? Who's your third? Butler can't take all the big shots. 76ers. Talent, but dysfunctional. I always say, do you have good kids? Good kids can be good here and there. But if you take them on the road, what are your kids like on the road? If they act up, then you got act-up kids. The Sixers are a atrocious road team, 9-19. I think they have the best overall starting 5 in the East. I think they have the best first 7 in the NBA. Only the Clippers are close. But they're a terrible road team. Simmons and Embiid don't work. Too good not to win a series. Too dysfunctional to win 3 series. Lakers feel too old. 5 of their top 9 players are 32 and older. They're a basketball team with size, don't play small. Older teams can bang. Can older teams run? Can they make the stops? Anthony Davis is a elite defender. LeBron really no longer is. Rondo is not. Kuzma is not. Danny Green at one point was very good. He's okay. I feel like they're a little old. I don't trust them off the bench. They look too LeBron-centric to me. Nuggets, just too young. 1 starter, 1 is older than 25, Will Barton. Denver's one of those teams that you know is good, and they're going to win a bunch of games, and their future is excellent. They've got a great player. They've got Jamal Murray as a 2. They're very well coached. They're very well run, and they draft well. But they're babies. And the NBA in the postseason swallows whistles. Last year's a great example. So they played Portland. It's got a little older players last year in the playoffs. And what happened? Even at home where they're great, they struggled. This is still a very young basketball team. In fact, they only have one player that's 30 or older on the entire roster, and that's Paul Millsap. The Clippers should be favored. Deepest team in the league, 2-0 against the Lakers. The other thing here, it's not that they've beaten the Lakers, but it's the way they've beaten the Lakers. The Lakers average 11 points less a game when they face the Clippers. Their shooting percentage goes from 48 to about 42. The Lakers' assists go down. They don't shoot threes as well. The Clippers are a unique combination of 2 elite wing defenders in their prime. Size, but can go small. They, of course, added Marcus Morris, another defender on the wing, to put his body on LeBron, and Reggie Jackson. I think it's more symbolic. I think Reggie's your 3rd or 4th scorer at guard. I don't think they'll lean on him a bunch, but he'll be a factor probably in a game or 2 in the postseason. Utah Jazz need another athlete. Even with Rudy Gobert, they're last in steals and 29th in blocks. Now think about that. Now just think about that. Rudy Gobert is 1st or 2nd best defensive big in the NBA. They're still near the bottom in blocks, and they're last in steals. They don't make enough teams uncomfortable. The Clippers make even LeBron and Anthony Davis uncomfortable. Milwaukee can make people uncomfortable. Toronto's length can make people uncomfortable. Boston's coaching can make people uncomfortable. 2 teams in the NBA that don't make anybody uncomfortable is Utah. They're not athletic enough. They need another athletic wing. They don't have anybody to stop LeBron and Kawhi. In fact, they not only don't have anybody to stop either, can they even make them reasonably uncomfortable? I don't think they can. And finally, the Rockets, only 1 ball. 29th in assists. They shoot the most threes, but are 23 in three-point percentage. They're the smallest team in the league. They have the 2 most ball-centric guards in the league. They're interesting. They're active. I mean, they make a million moves. I never feel, and I felt this a couple years ago with Chris Paul, they were really centered. They were physical. They were tough. Chris Paul and James Harden weren't perfect together, but I kind of felt everybody was on the same page. I don't now. I think the owner wanted Westbrook. The GM says he wanted Westbrook. Mike D'Antoni likes guards. He probably likes Westbrook. They kind of clear the floor. They open the space up for Westbrook to drive. It's yet to be seen if James Harden can, by late May, have the energy to really be a guy that can give you effort on both ends of the floor. I have not seen it in recent years. So there you go, our 3-word game. Want to thank Lane Johnson, Dan Wojcicki, and Tyson Fury for stopping by today. M-Drive is an everyday supplement. Check it out, mdriveformen.com. Code HERD, 20% off. Not for everybody, just for the driven. All fired up. We'll get to Bob Stoops at another time. We're going to have him today, but Bob was out at practice, GM and head coach of the Dallas Renegades, so we're going to be great. Big fight this weekend. I'm off tomorrow. I think Joy is here. Doug Gottlieb will fill in for us. The big fight of the weekend's at the MGM. It's Tyson Fury. It's Deontay Wilder. We just had a wild personality, Tyson Fury, on our show with us. I think this fight's going to give us everything you want. I think it's going to set a record for pay-per-views. I think it's going to be the most purchased fight in a long time. And it's a heavyweight fight. You're going to get 2 guys who have fought each other. They know exactly what they are. I'm not saying it's Holyfield Tyson 2, but by the time Holyfield and Tyson had met for the second time, there was no fooling anybody. They knew exactly what they were. These guys know exactly what they are.
Well, you're also getting 2 fighters in their prime, like Fury said. Like, you're getting 2 prime fighters who are full of energy, ready to fight. Fury's saying he's in the best shape of his life. He's with a nutritionist now. He's doing everything the right way, so he's not winging it. You're going to get 2 great fighters who are ready to win. And the last fight ending in a draw where they both felt like they won, just has so much more anticipation.
Well, I mean, we talk about Floyd Mayweather fights, but, one of them, Pacquiao, was too old. The other one, he fought a UFC guy.
And this is a heavyweight fight.
Yeah, it just means more. It's interesting about boxing in America. It was big, but it was always run by promoters. They didn't have a centralized leader. And then UFC came around with Dana White, and it was well run. It was aggressive. You got more bang for your money. And boxing, by the way, for about a decade,
it took a hit.
It took a major step back. UFC now goes behind a paywall, so some people will, buy it and some won't. But their stuff now is overwhelmingly behind a paywall. That opens the door a little bit for boxing. And also, we've got 3 networks now looking for content are all in the boxing game. We're one of them.
And working together to make the best fights happen.
So it feels like, Joy, it's funny. College basketball is not nearly as big as it was in my life 15 years ago. NFL is bigger than it's ever been. Baseball's lost some social currency. Boxing feels like it's coming back. It really does. It feels like it's having a little bit of a renaissance, and I'm totally jacked for it. Penguins, Maple Leafs, today's Discover Card Key matchup. They match at Discover all the cash back you earn on your credit card into your first year. Go to discover.com/yes. Limitations apply. Speak for yourself. In Vegas, they'll have Deontay Wilder on next. I've got to be honest. Having watched Speak for Yourself all week, I don't think it's the worst idea to have it show permanently in Las Vegas. You get Whitlock around those tables, and Jason Whitlock's energy is just hard to duplicate. All right, Whitlock, you're in Vegas. Your set looks amazing. Tell me the vibe. How big does it feel?
It feels big as hell, Cowherd. It feels like I started coming here in 1996 when Mike Tyson got out of jail and started fighting here in Las Vegas. That's how long my relationship is with the MGM. This feels like a Tyson fight. This feels really big. I couldn't think of a better place to be than right here in Las Vegas for fight weekend.
By the way, we had Tyson Fury on. He was an absolute riot. I was saying earlier, you have Deontay Wilder on today. I don't remember getting 2 heavyweights, Jason, that were more verbal, that were more fun. I mean, these guys, like a lot of boxers, Frazier wasn't a big talker. Holmes wasn't a big talker. These guys are entertainers, it feels like to me.
They're very likable, which to have 2 heavyweights that are both very likable. Look, Mike Tyson was intimidating. He was awe-inspiring. I'm not sure if Mike Tyson was ever likable. I think Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury are both likable. They don't seem to like each other, but that's good for us. But I think as fans, we can embrace both of these guys.
Okay, now, Whitlock, sometimes I worry about you in Vegas. You come home with empty pockets. I'm going to give you a great bet. Arizona Cardinals double their win total. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Saturday night.
Hey, if we have a show out here, they're going to have to double my salary.
Speak for yourself coming up next.